The Bao Place in Burnaby offers siopaw flavors like Pinoy-style bola-bola and asado and other specialty siopaws. The Bao Place located at 4673 Kingsway, Burnaby, across the Metrotown Mall. Telephone number 778-712-3228.
Dollar Smart 99 cents App Store, located at 4811 Diesel Beach Way in Richmond. Telephone number 604-207-0072.
Philippine News Canada is brought to you by Rayford Media Group.
Hello mga kabayan, narito na ang pinalawak at pinalakas na coverage ng Philippine News Canada Balitang Vancouver nationwide. Mga pangunahing balitang nasagap ng aming news team para sa linggong ito. Mula sa silid balitaan ng Philippine News Canada, kasama ang aming mga field reporters and news correspondents, ako po si Rosette Correa. Ito ang Philippine News Canada Balitang Vancouver. Marami sa ating dumarating ng Canada ang hangarin ay makatulong sa iba dahil alam natin ang hirap ng buhay sa Pilipinas. Ito'y bunga sa sariling karanasan natin kung tayo'y lumaki sa hirap. Isa sa layunin ng Dress Connection Project ay ang matulungan ang mga bagong dating na mga teenager na Pilipina na naghahangad ng magandang damit para sa isang graduation ball o prom, pati na rin ang pagbigay ng damit na pangtrabaho ng mga working women na hindi ma-afford ang bumili ng bagong kasuotan para sa trabaho. Yan ang pangarap ni Mean Laseste at sa ating one-on-one, alamin natin kung ano ang layunin niya sa pagtulong sa kapwa Pilipina. So, sino si Mean Laseste?
Si Mean ay isang taga La Union. My father is from La Union, but my mother is actually from Iloilo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I went to school in Dagupan, so I speak few dialects from the Philippines.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I left the country when I was 21. Napunta ako sa Kenya where I joined my aunt. Nagtatrabaho siya at the time sa United Nations. And then after being there for a few years, I applied to come here. And I started as a nanny when I was 25. At that time, it was, I could honestly say I cried every day for 3 months when I first came because wala akong kakilala kahit isa. And anyway, I had my challenges as a nanny. And, but then with those challenges, I made it a point to do better. And so, to make the story short, I am now an insurance advisor. I've been doing that for a few years, and I love my job, and I feel and I think I'm doing well. So, I think this is my giving back to the community, paying it forward.
Okay,
yes.
very nice. So, ano nga ba itong project mo na The Dress Connection? Can you tell us a little bit more about paano mo naisip itong project na to? Ano yung naging driving force behind it?
Well, a few months ago, I couldn't sleep, and words kept coming to me, and so I got up, took a pen, and write it down. What was coming to me. It was more like walking down memory lane, and I don't know why all of a sudden this particular memory was triggered. And I just remembered my feelings when that particular event happened in my life. So anyway, I wrote the dress. It took me a few months to really finish it. And when I did finish it, I was driving one day and again another thought came to me, and I said, in my mind, I thought that perhaps I could help someone else who might be going through the same thing that I did when I was young, and perhaps help that one particular person. At least if I could start with one, then it will be it will be something that came out of that
Seed.
seed. Yes.
So ano nga ba yung dress connection?
It was a story when I was in high school. I went to a Catholic school in La Union, and there was an event where the girls were asked to wear dresses, you know, a dress. And I went home worried, and I didn't have any dress, and so I told my mom at the time, and she went out asking friends if they have, dresses that I could borrow. So she found one, and I was in high school, so I think I was like 13, 14 years old at the time. And the person who owned the dress was in her 40s or even maybe 50s. But I didn't have
medyo lumang style na yung
lumang
damit,
style,
oo.
of course, with lumang colors and lumang style, and like, think of it, when you're in high school, or when you were as a teenager even, would you like to wear your mom's dress? Unless your mom is hip-hop and, wear something nice, I guess it's okay. But, remembering that
Incident.
Brings, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to, but brings some memories, emotional ones anyway. And just remembering that it was hard to wear an older person's dress and you're a teenager. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's okay.
But anyway,
You want to compose yourself?
so I thought that maybe some teenagers are going through the same thing, as I was, and maybe the least that I can do is help someone else, have good feelings to go out there and not feel,
Thank you.
in their hardship and difficulties that they have to go through that same thing. If I can help someone else not to go through that, that will really make my day. Yes.
Okay. So yung dress connection, when you explained it to me, when we were planning this, when we were talking about it, you were saying that you wanted to help somebody afford that dress.
Right.
So what exactly is the idea behind the dress connection? Like, what is your sino yung gusto mong ma-reach out?
Of course, gusto kong ma-reach out yung particular person who cannot afford, or whose parents cannot afford to buy this particular girl maybe a grad dress or a prom dress. And also I'd like to not just the teenagers or girls needing grad dress or prom dress, also to extend it to women who probably, let's say, who have not worked for a while, maybe who have been on EI or have been taking courses to upgrade or improve what they have and are ready to go back to or join the workforce. I thought that perhaps I can help them with also their business suits or any clothes that they see fit that they can wear for interviews. And even, let's say, new immigrants per se who are just starting, who perhaps are financially challenged as well. I would like to reach out to them too. So it's not limited to high schools, but also to women who are getting ready to go to work or new immigrants.
So ano yung magiging mechanics nitong, how are they going to be able to join or to apply or to let you know that they are in need of your generosity?
Well, I thought it would be as simple as just writing us a letter and telling us why you need our help. I think it's as simple as that. And you can reach us in many different ways, which you will mention later on, I guess. Yeah.
Ano yung, kumbaga, what do you seek to get out of this project of yours, Mean?
Oh, what I want to get is just to feel good that I have helped somebody. That's it as well. In fact, I thought it would be just as simple as doing the thing on the paper and not actually doing this kind of thing.
Thank you, Ma'an. And would you like to invite mga kababayan natin and let them know how they can get in touch with you?
So sa ating mga kababayan out there who might be needing help for their grad dress, prom dress, or sa kanilang interview suits, business suits, contact us and let us know how we can help you. Just tell us why you need our help, and we will contact you as we decide as to who will be the beneficiaries of this project.
At syempre, where can they email you or send you their letters?
Okay, you can email me at Mian, M-E-A-N, at ajinsurance.ca, or contact PNT
At balitangvancouver@gmail.com.
Dollar Smart 99 cents Op Store, located at 4811 Diesel Beach Way in Richmond. Telephone number 604-207-0072.
The Bao Place in Burnaby offers siopaw flavors like Pinoy-style bola bola and asado and other specialty siopaws. The Bao Place located at 4673 Kingsway, Burnaby, across the Metrotown Mall. Telephone number 778-712-3228.
Si Melissa Keane ay isang nurse at young mother na na-diagnose ng thyroid cancer ng siya'y dalaga pa. Dumaan siya sa maraming treatment hanggang sa mawala ang simptoma ng kanyang sakit. Dahil dito, nais niyang ipaalam ang kanyang storya sa marami na maaaring nakakaranas ng sakit na tulad niya at bigyan sila ng lakas ng loob na lumaban sa ganitong sakit. Para sa ating Juan on Juan, panoorin natin ang panayam kay cancer survivor Melissa Keane. Hello kabayan, nandito po tayo sa Juan on Juan with Melissa Austria Keane. Hi Melissa.
Hi,
How are
thank you so
you?
much for having me today.
Oh, it's our
It's an
pleasure.
honor for me to be here.
And it's our pleasure to have you here with us this
Thank you.
today. So, who is Melissa Austria Keane?
Well, I was born and raised here in Vancouver, BC. My parents came here from the Philippines about 40 years ago or so. My dad's from San Carlos, Pangasinan, and my mom is from Pampanga. They met while my dad was in the military, and they migrated over here, and a few years later they had my brother who's 5 years older than me, Chris. And we grew up in East Van, and I went to school at St. Mary's Elementary School near Joy Station.
Yep.
I also went to high school at Notre Dame Regional Secondary School, and I graduated with my nursing degree from Langara, UVic, in 2005. So it's been about 11 years since I started nursing.
So, you're here to tell us more about your story and your journey through cancer.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, as I said earlier, I finished nursing school in November 2006, or 2005 rather, and I started my nursing career. I started as a float nurse at Vancouver General Hospital. And about 6 months into my nursing career, I was getting sick a lot with a common cold or what turned out to maybe be a flu. I was on antibiotics a lot. Growing up, my mom always told me that I had a weakened immune system, so I was sick on my birthday, sick on Christmas, the holidays, everything. I was sick. And so one day, I remember thinking back to when I was nursing, and I was at my Lola's house. So my Lola helped raise me from the time I was about 3 months old. And I was at my Lola's house and talking to one of my aunts, my Auntie Onion, and she suddenly looked at me and she said, "You know what? My family calls me Lisa." So she said, "Lisa, you know what? Nang, your neck looks kind of funny." And I said, "Oh, really?" I was 23 at the time, so I kind of disregarded what she said, and I said, "Oh, I'm fine." And a couple months go by, and I went to my family doctor who had always seen me when I was sick. He was away on vacation, and so I saw what's called a locum physician, who's a fill-in doctor. And I said to her, "You know what, doctor, I'm so sick of being sick. plain and simple.
Yeah.
People told me it was because I was working 12-hour shifts, days and nights, not getting enough sleep. And so quite quickly, she said, okay, let me check you out. She ran her hands down my throat. And the minute she got to right about here where your thyroid gland is, she said, you have a mass in your throat. And at that time, it kind of chokes me up just thinking about it. But at that point, she said, I'm going to send you for blood work, send you for ultrasound. And within, I would say, a month and a half, probably about a month's time, on May 16th of 2005, I found out that, May 16th of 2006, I found out that I had a mass in my throat that was positive for thyroid cancer.
Now, does your family have a history of cancer?
No. I am the only one. I believe that I have aunts who have what's called hypothyroid, which means that your thyroid is low functioning, so you need some synthetic hormones to keep it going. And your thyroid is responsible for metabolism, keeping your body temperature stable, you know, your everyday sort of thing, keeping your weight maintained. And so when I was diagnosed, and when I had following surgery after the news, I thought I was going to die. And I was in a very tumultuous relationship. I was 23 years old. And, you know, I thought about having children and getting married, and it was almost as if my life was in fast forward. And I got the news from a general surgeon that it was positive for thyroid cancer. And I remember sitting in his office, and it was similar to the commercials you see on TV where you get the bad news that you have thyroid cancer. And I just stopped and I thought, oh, you know what? This is it, right? Lucky for me, it was papillary thyroid cancer. It is a treatable type of thyroid cancer. It's not the type that's going to kill me, but it might happen more than once. And in my story, it happened again about 5 years later, so in 2008, when I finally broke up with that bad boyfriend.
Okay.
And my kuya introduced me to my husband.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks of meeting my then now husband, I found out I was diagnosed again.
So it was the second time?
It was the second time. The first time they had removed my thyroid gland completely. And so I was put on a synthetic hormone that I have to take daily. I also, at that point, the cancer had already spread to my lymph nodes. And fortunately, it wasn't in any other organs in my body. And then in 2008, when it came back again, I had found out that it was in my lymph nodes again, because it is that type that comes back. And so the type of treatment that I had was first the surgical option, and then I had to have a type of radioactive iodine treatment, in which you ingest or drink almost, it's a clear liquid, and it's radioactive. And after you ingest it, you have to be in the hospital for 48 to 72 hours.
And during this journey, how did your parents react to it? And of course, your future, your husband, how did they go through the journey with you?
So, of course, my family, we come from a very Roman Catholic family. So church primarily is something that my parents did seek refuge with. They prayed a lot. My family is a very close-knit. I think after my first diagnosis, it was such a shock to everyone, in that we kind of kept it together quietly. And as the years went on, and as my voice grew, I spread the story a little bit more. And when I met my husband, as I said, it was 2 weeks before my second diagnosis. I basically, in a nutshell, I sat him down and I said, have you ever noticed this scar on my neck? Because it's quite visible and it's right here. And he said no. And I said, well, this is my story. And because of the relationship that I had been in previously, that wasn't the greatest, but it was what it was. I said, you know, this is kind of your out, right? Like, I can do this on my own because I've done it before. And so he he decided that, you know, he was going to support me, and he continues to support everything that I do. And I'm completely grateful, for sure.
And the fears that you have about getting married and having children, what happened to that?
So the second diagnosis was in 2008. In September of 2010, we were married at Heritage Hall in Vancouver in East Van. And in July of 2011, I gave birth to my first child, Marcus George Keene. And then following his birth, a couple years later, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer for the third time. So I went through the same surgery and radioactive iodine treatment. It's been 3 years, and we now have a second child, Sophia and Keen. So she just turned a year in December, and my dreams of having children has been fulfilled. I'm happily married. We have a beautiful townhouse that's just quaint enough for the three of us and our little dog. And there's a lot to be thankful for, and I feel very blessed to be able to share that with other people.
Now, Melissa, why do you want to share your story with everybody else?
When I was younger, I used to be that little girl that sat in family parties in the corner, and I used to just sit quietly and, you know, wave to people, and I feel like I had no voice back then. I was always the little girl. And I think now, having gone through what I've gone through, I've blossomed into a person that has a voice. And being from the Filipino community, being a registered nurse, being a mother and a wife, I want to be able to spread that awareness to the community, and I want to be able to inspire others to take charge of their health and enable people who are suffering the same that I've suffered to know that they're not alone. And I feel that this is a really good stepping point for me to be able to reach out. And I definitely invite other people to visit my website, my blog, and so that they can see that there is a positive that can come from being a cancer patient and cancer survivor, and that it's not a death sentence, at least for me, and that hopefully they can find strength.
So what keeps Melissa going after all of this that you've experienced? What keeps you very positive about things?
I never knew that I could write. And I get a lot of healing from being able to share my story. And I look at the life that I've grown to have, the family that I have, and the social network now that I have. And I take a lot of joy from that. And for me, I don't want to be a victim of cancer. Cancer doesn't define me. The voice that it's created for me is who I am. And I definitely want to take that and share it with the world so that people know that, you know, it's not something that always has to be negative. And I wake up in the morning and I think I'm so blessed to have a family of my own, for sure.
Absolutely. And 5 to 10 years from now, what will you be doing?
5 to 10 years from now, I hope that I may be on the beach somewhere, vacationing.
Oh yeah, like me, yeah.
We have a home, and so for me, that's enough. I would love to be cancer-free. I would love to be standing in front of groups telling my story. I've previously just stood in front of 2 nursing classes at Langara, where I'm helping nurses hopefully find more direction in how to help people with cancer. And so I want to be up there. I want to be in the forefront, helping not only cancer patients, but mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and more of the people in the community, for sure.
Absolutely. And what you're doing is really, really wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You were also telling me a while ago that there's a milestone for you in September.
Yes. So Marcus, my almost 5-year-old, will be starting kindergarten.
It's wonderful.
Which is amazing. I think about how lucky I am just when I see him. And even on the off days where I'm not in the greatest of moods, he tells me that, you know what, Mom, it's okay if you get mad at me sometimes because accidents happen. And he wanted me to tell you that he knows a lot about science.
That's awesome.
Yes. So it's a big milestone for sure. And I am so blessed to be able to have that in my life for sure.
Well, Melissa, now you have the opportunity to address our viewers and let them know that cancer is not a death sentence.
Okay, for sure. So I want to thank you so much for staying tuned and listening to me talk today. Yes, I just want to let you know that even after 3 separate thyroid cancer diagnoses, there is life after thyroid cancer. And if you are suffering what I've suffered from, or if you know someone who's suffering the same, then please do tell them that there is strength and to call upon the people that you love to find that strength. And if you need me, I'll be there.
Ayan po ang mga balita namin para sa linggong ito at bago kami magtapos, nagpapasalamat po kami sa aming mga sponsor, ang Dollar Smart 99 cents Up Store sa Richmond, The Bao Place in Burnaby at syempre, Kabalen Sweets Restaurant and Catering. Maraming salamat po. At dito na naman nagtatapos ang aming balita para sa linggong ito. Kung kayo ay may mga komento, mga issue o balitang nais ninyong ibahagi sa aming programa, ang PNC ay bukas para sa inyong lahat. Maring mag-email lamang po sa balitangvancouver@gmail.com o tumawag sa 604-588-6397. Ako po si Rosette Correa at ito ang Philippine News Canada, Balitang Vancouver.
Dollar Smart 99 cents App Store, located at 4811 Diesel Beach Way in Richmond. Telephone number 604-207-0072.
The Bao Place in Burnaby offers siopaw flavors like Pinoy-style bola bola and asado and other specialty siopaws. The Bao Place located at 4673 Kingsway, Burnaby, across the Metrotown Mall. Telephone number 778-712-3228.